Hi everyone, it's Laurie Wright. It's my very first webinar, doing it on my website, so of course it didn't work. So I'm recording the Zoom call and I'll post it, and I apologize if anybody was trying to find me and it didn't work out. I did try, it didn't work. I'll try again another time. But for now this will work and you can just watch it at your leisure. So I want to tell you what the webinar is about and my goal. The webinar is to help you, the writer, get from your writing plan to your published book in 8 weeks. So the 8 weeks start to finish is intended for somebody writing a children's book. And if you're doing a novel, then I can certainly give you all of the information and you will have a really good start on it after 8 weeks, but chances are good that your novel will not be completed in 8 weeks because unless you're an insomniac, that's just not going to happen, right? So in my first course, which is just wrapping up now, there is a novel writer and then somebody who writes everything and somebody who writes a children's book. So the children's book is almost done. Somebody who writes everything, she's working on it, and we know that the novel won't be ready for another couple of months, and that's fine. She's got all the information and she's ready to go. So 8 weeks, 8 steps, you can do it because I did it. So 8 weeks from now brings us till April. So give or take a couple of weeks. By April, you could be holding your book in your hand. So this is the front cover of the book that I wrote. So it took me more like 5 or 6 months because I took a self-publishing course and I hummed and hawed. I really struggled with confidence and, you know, I had to learn along the ways what to do. So in the end, you could publish your book in a matter of weeks, depending on what stage you're at and depending on how much time you have to devote to getting it done. So if you're like me, you're a mom or your dad maybe, and you have lots of other responsibilities, you might not be able to spend all of your extra time on your writing and on your publishing. So the 8 weeks is a really easy time frame to work with, and it should be lots of time to get it done if you do the work. So we'll get to that. So we're going to learn how to publish a children's book is what I'll focus on for the purposes of the 8 weeks. And you don't have to spend hundreds of hours and you don't have to spend thousands of dollars. So the webinar will take about an hour, we'll see. And if you stick with me till the end, then you have these bonuses. A freebie, which I will email you, which is the 8 steps I'm going to teach you. So you don't have to be scribbling down in a notebook or screenshotting or anything. I'll send it to you, no problem, and then you'll have it. It'll look pretty. A bonus is the list of online resources that I used, every online resource that I used to publish my book. And of course, amazing information. So here is the good question for everybody. How many children are on you right now? It is hard to pay attention if there's kids on you, or if you're looking at Facebook, or if you're watching the Golden Globes, which it turns out are on tonight, or if you're watching videos. So my recommendation, of course, is to shut everything down and just pay attention to me, and I'll try not to take too long. So if you have lots of children on you, then maybe your closet or the basement or the bathroom is a good option. That's just kind of a jokey slide. So this is me way back, way back before I had kids when I was teaching kindergarten. This was Halloween. I didn't dress like that every day. I loved teaching kindergarten, and when I was teaching kindergarten, that is when I had the idea for my book. That's when I wrote my book, and then I had no idea what to do after that, so it sat in my computer. I've since had 3 kids, and I've been a stay-at-home mom for what feels like a long time. So I am a regular person. I try, like everybody else, to find a balance in what I do, and it isn't always easy. What I did last spring was I took a chance. I took a course. I learned how to self-publish, and now I'm even working on my second book. I did a lot of things right, so I finally took that step. I admitted I wanted to do more. I found help. I made the investment in myself, and I got it done. I did a lot of things wrong. I love this picture. I had no confidence, and so I just left it, and I didn't do anything for almost 10 years. I let that fear and that lack of confidence stop me from making any movement forward when it came to my book. So I consider the way that I did it the hard way, but you can do it the easy way. You don't have to spend the hours and hours of time researching and searching on the internet and Google searching and doing all that. How do I do it? What do I do? You get to cheat because I'm going to tell you how to do it. Imagine the day that your book comes. This was my book, and I just happened to be away that weekend speaking at a conference. I stayed home on the Friday because I had the tracking code. I knew it was coming, and I waited on that Friday for as long as I possibly could to get the book in my hand so I could share it with my friends, and then I had to go to the conference. So of course it came like an hour later, and my family, who had been with me every step of the way along the journey, opened it because they felt like it was their book too. And then that night when I talked to my husband, I said, "You opened it?" And so he tried to tape it back up so I would never know that they had opened it. There you go. That one speaks for itself. It's not easy. I'm not offering to do it for you. 8 weeks. Here we go. 3 secrets. It's not just for people who can't get traditionally published. So this has really changed in the past few years. So talking 10 or 15 years ago, people who self-published were people who maybe had such niche writing that no traditional publisher was interested, and it's the only way that they could get seen. But now there's so many people self-publishing because they've realized it's actually the better way to go, in my opinion. It's the better way to go because you're not giving up your rights to your book. And when I talk about rights, what I mean is when you sign a contract, if they want you to give up the rights to your book, they get to do whatever they want with it. So they can do one print run, and even if it completely sells out and it's in demand, if they decide not to print it again, that's out of your control. And they don't have to sell you the rights back. And I've talked to authors where that exact thing happened and they didn't sell the rights back. And then that book is basically dead in the water, right? Self-publishing is for people who maybe want to keep all the profits. So typically with traditional publishers, you get about a $4,000 advance, and quite often, I shouldn't say typically, that's like the average, and quite often your book doesn't even make that much, and then again it's dead in the water. They're not going to keep going, they're not going to keep marketing it. The publishing was actually the easiest part for me of the whole process. Once you learn what to do and you know what to do, it's a piece of cake. And when you take the time to invest in yourself, and with courses like these, you can self-publish without spending all of your time just doing the research to find out how you are supposed to do it. Oh, and there's the next slide talking about this. That was the other thing that really, this is what cemented me about self-publishing. I have no patience. And so when I found out that even if all the way along the process, I was given, yes, 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 we want your book. Yes, we'll find you an illustrator. Yes, we're going to do this. Yes, sign this contract. Yes, 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 yes. It would still take 2 to 3 years for my book to actually get on the shelves. And I could not fathom waiting that long. That just was not going to work for me. The story writing can take hours or weeks. Editing can take years because it's never perfect. But and illustrations, mine took 3 weeks or 7 weeks. It was supposed to take 3 weeks. But actually doing the publishing took an hour tops. And I think it took that long for me because I kept going back to make sure I hadn't missed anything because it seemed like it was so easy. So I've put in the time. And then just last year, after spending 10 years wondering, in October, I realized nobody was going to come and knock on the door to take my book and publish it and make me rich and famous. And in March, I took an e-course on self-publishing. And in June, I finally hired the illustrator. And in August, it was all done and my book was published. Just that fast. So when I share these reviews about my book, I want you to realize that this could be you. A year ago, it wasn't even in my mind that I was actually going to publish my book. I had written it years and years before, but a year ago at this point, it wasn't even there because I didn't think I was ever going to do it. So this was an amazing review because it was about someone's mother-in-law who had died, and her son, who was 5, after reading my book a few times, said to her, "Mommy, it's okay, I can handle it." And just the concept of my book was it was carried out, and it was how I intended it to be, and it's just such an amazing feeling. I can't even tell you. So here's secret 3. You can do it, because if I can do it, I'm a regular Joe, you can do it. You can do it without spending all the time away from your family. You can do it without spending years trying to figure it out. Imagine if you had your book in your hands by April 1st. So exciting. So let me ask you, if you could publish your story without spending loads of time and energy, could I help you? Would you like it if someone who has done it could show you the way? And who would like to know how I did it? So here is the process. So this is what I'm going to send you so you don't have to screenshot and take notes. Week 1, if you do it 1 week at a time for the 8 weeks is what I'm talking about. And this is how I run my course. So just so that you know, that's why there's a worth at the bottom. This is how much 1 week in this process would be worth. If you do it yourself, because remember, I'm going to send you the 8 steps. So if you do it yourself, it's free, of course, and you can absolutely do it yourself. You absolutely can. You have to have the determination, you have to have the motivation, and you have to have the time, of course, but you can do it. I'm going to send you all these steps, but that's why these slides look like this. Week 1 is making sure that we are set up for success. So some writing tips, some setting up your area tips, some creativity tips, lots of discussion to introduce ourselves in the course, and ways to be successful. This is another review of sorts. She was talking about my course and saying thank you so much for doing it and then sharing how to do it. So week 2 is actually writing. Again, we're talking about children's books. So in my course that's about novels, this will be a little bit different. But writing children's books, we're going to do this in week 2. So maybe you already have ideas, maybe you don't. That's okay. We're going to work with it, and we're going to make your book. This was a little girl who at my book signing, she came out, I didn't know her, I didn't know her family at all, so it was a stranger, because in the beginning, a lot of your friends and family buy your book, and so you know everybody who has it, so it's like, oh yeah, you're just being nice to me when you say that you like it. But this little girl came up, and she said, I know you wrote this, I love this book, and it was so cool, and I said, I have to have a picture with you, because you're like my first real fan, and it was just super exciting for me, so I had to have a picture of her. Week 3 is editing. Now, editing is, it's one of those things. You can write the book because you have a creative spurt of energy, and you could write the book in an hour, and then you could edit it for years. Your words to yourself likely will never be perfect. So we are going to work together on week 3, and we're going to make sure that it's good enough. I would never say it would be perfect, because I know that I tweaked literally for years. I could have kept tweaking, and finally I just got to a point where I decided that it was okay. And I'll tell you, in the course, I've run this course once, and the editing part was so successful. Everybody in the course loved having other stories to read. They were all so different. They loved giving feedback. They loved getting feedback, and it was really, really beneficial for everybody. It worked great. So there's another review of my book on Amazon. So when you have your book on Amazon, when you self-publish it, you want your friends and family to leave you a review, because it will boost the chances of your book being seen just by people doing a search. So you have to reach out, and you have to ask your friends and family to leave you reviews. Even if they just click stars, that's fine. So week 4, illustrations. So where I found my illustrator, and this is what tripped me up for so many years, or a big part of it, because I can't draw. I can't draw worth anything. So it really tripped me up. And finally, I found the website called Fiverr. So you don't have to write it down. I'm going to send it to you. But Fiverr is a really neat website where people offer their services for less money than what they would normally charge, like in their 9-to-5 job, but they're trying to make extra money on the side. So you go through the process of finding somebody, and it's just amazing. I found a great person, and it went really well. So if you're doing a novel, this might be where you would find someone to do your graphic design for your cover, or the back of your book, all that kind of stuff. So here is another review on Amazon. So I want you to think for a minute what it will feel like when you have reviews of your book on Amazon. It feels really good. Week 5, we're already halfway done, and this week we will finalize the title, we'll apply for the ISBN, and we'll write an about the author paragraph. So the ISBN is that code on the back of the book. Every book sold needs to have one. So I will show you how to get it. It takes about 10 minutes. It's free in Canada. It's not free in the United States, but it's certainly not expensive. Here is my bonus for the first 10 people who sign up for the course. You get an extra 2 weeks in the course, and we'll focus on whatever you need at that time. So it might be marketing help. It might be more help maybe even with the next book or promotions or anything like that. We'll work on it. Week number 6, we're almost done. We're writing the book blurb and the dedication, and we're talking about how to place your pages. Week 7 is publishing. I do a tutorial much like this on the CreateSpace website, and it's fairly user-friendly. So if you decide not to do the course and you just want to go through this and do it yourself, CreateSpace is very user-friendly, and it won't let you get past a certain point until you've already completed everything up until that point. So it really lays it out really nicely for you, and it's not that hard. And then after you upload your files onto CreateSpace, you get to hit send and order a proof. You get to order your proof of your book. It's amazing. It's so exciting. Another bonus, the first 20 people to join the course will get a special brainstorming session with me in the first couple of weeks. So fun. And then the last week is completion. So we're going to share our book proofs with each other. We're going to help promote each other on social media. And then we will talk about where to go from there. And by week 8, you should have your book in your hand. So exciting. If all you got out of this course was a kick in the ass to get writing again, if all you got was that proof copy of your book in your hands in 8 weeks, if all you got was to be finally inspired just to start writing again and to get it out there, or if all you got was the knowledge of how to self-publish a book, and then you can self-publish 100 books. You'll have that knowledge forever after one course. So I have to ask you, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it to learn all of these things, the ISBN, the title, the author bio, and to have help with it? That is a huge, huge factor, is that support. Because so often, think about things that you wanted to do in your life, and if you didn't have support, chances are it didn't get done. It didn't get done in a timely manner, or maybe it didn't get done well. I want to help you cross this off your bucket list. And this course right now, what it would be worth, all of those weeks worth would be worth almost $2,000. So I'm not giving it to you for half price. I'm giving it to you for a quarter of that price, and I'm giving you payment options if you are interested. So you could pay in full now, and I will discount that for you because I'm really excited to help you get your story out there. Or you could pay in 2 full installments for the total of just under $500. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to email you the bonus list of the online resources. I'm going to email you the 8-step checklist, and that's all you need to get your book out there. You can absolutely do it yourself. Like I said, you just have to be motivated and focused and follow my checklist, and it's basically a blueprint for publishing your book. Again, in case you missed it, there are the payment options. This is what the course would be worth at full price, $1,949. And I'm just going to leave you with, you have 2 options. So you could carry on the way that you've been carrying on with that idea in your head, or the story in your computer, or the notebooks upon notebooks filled with your ideas and your character sketches and all that. You could just carry on status quo, or you could step up, take action, invest in yourself, and go for it. Finally go for it. So my guarantee, if you take that risk and make that investment in yourself, if you come into the course with me and you do the work, you will have your book done and in your hands by April 1st. How exciting is that? I hope that you liked that. This course is really my gift to everybody, because I want you to realize how easy it is after going through possibly years like I did, not knowing how in the heck to get your book out there and how to get it published. My gift is to teach you, because it really isn't that hard. We have a lot of fun in the course. I've had some really great reviews. The ladies who are in the course right now, it's all ladies, but they're just amazing. And the last comment that I got was something about how the course has changed more than just her, her writing habits and the fact that she's going to write a book. It's actually changed her whole outlook on her life. And I just think that's amazing. So please send me an email if you have any questions, or let me know, and I would be happy to help you. This course is slated to start, I think, on the 15th, I want to say. It's a Monday, January 15th. So thank you. Sorry that the link didn't work and all that, but I'll put this up. I'll send it for a replay. Okay, bye, everybody.